Sloan Sports Analytics Conference gave that award to the Cardinals for their trade with the Texans for wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. So, Shannon, should the Bucs signing Brady have won this award, in your opinion?
Skip, without knowing how they did it, I guess they just looked at a transaction as a trade, and they don't look at it as free agency or anything like that. Because obviously, Skip, the quarterback is not always the best player on the team, but he's always the most important. And it's hard for you to win championships without getting great quarterback play. And so for me, I think just looking at it, they said, okay, transaction, we're doing via trade. Because clearly Tom Brady, a quarterback of his stature, changing teams and doing what they did, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's not even up for discussion. But I guess they're just looking at the trade. It's the only explanation that I have, Skip, for you. Because I can't make a case that DeAndre Hopkins is more valuable, more important than Tom Brady, because he doesn't play a position. He doesn't have the ball in his hand on every single play.
Yep.
He can't impact the game like a quarterback can. He can have an impact on the game, but he can't impact the game like Brady can, or any of the top quarterbacks, or any quarterback for that matter. So for me, that's the only thing that I can say, Skip, is that it was a trade. And when trades are involved, there's a great chance that there are other teams that are involved. I don't really think there was any other team involved with Tom Brady. He picks up the phone, says, I want to come to Tampa. Click. He didn't call anybody else, Skip. He didn't call, say, obviously, they're probably, you hear San Diego's interested. The 49ers thought about kicking the tires. They said no. Tom Brady picks up the phone, calls Jason Light, and says, I want to come to Tampa.
Yep.
Bruce, you're never going to believe this. I just got a phone call. Okay, you saw a ghost. From who? Tom Brady. And he said he want to come here. Why are you in my office? Why did you fly to Boston or wherever he is? Just get his name on the dotted line before he changes his mind. That's what if I'm BA, that's what I would have said. So Skip, that's the only explanation that I have for you, is that they said transaction is trade. Because any other, if you use any other metric, analytics, or however you want to judge this, Tom Brady would be the biggest transaction if you include trades and free agency.
Okay, so I'm with you. This award from the MIT conference was about steal of a deal.
Right.
And it was a deal, obviously, because they just took Bill O'Brien.
They swindled him.
Yeah, they should be in jail for this one, right?
Yes.
But they did pull it off. But then again, they pulled it off and it got them where? Well, it didn't even get them to the playoffs last year because the quarterback got beat up and he did not play well down the stretch after they got to, what, 6-3, I think, at one point.
Right.
And it looked like they were on the road.
Yep, they're in front of the division, leading the division.
Okay, so they didn't even make the playoffs, while, to me, and feel free to take issue, but Tom Brady was the greatest free agent signing in the history of this league.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's close.
Yeah.
Peyton was a great one. And Peyton basically knocked on that door,
yeah,
too.
He did. Yeah.
Right? He picked them.
Yes.
But Peyton wasn't even a hot property at all at that point because a lot of people thought he just couldn't even play anymore.
Well, there were three teams in the running. Tennessee, Arizona, and the Broncos.
Yep.
Obviously, Tennessee, we know what he thinks Tennessee. He played in the state of Tennessee.
He did.
I think he might still have a home there. I'm not sure. I know he resides in Denver now.
I thought it was in Chattanooga.
It might, yeah. So Tennessee, Arizona, with Wisenhunt. And then, you look at the Broncos. John Elway running it, played late in won Super Bowls late in his career. You look at that roster. You got Demaryius Thomas, you got Julius Thomas, you got Eric Decker, you got Noshawn Marino in the backfield. You got a solid offensive line led by Ryan Clay, the left tackle. A defense that's up and coming. Like, okay. And then we know what they became. They ended up going to 2 Super Bowls, winning 1.
Yep.
He wins an MVP.
Okay. So the point is, it took Peyton 4 years in Denver to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He did get to the one, and they got blown out by Seattle.
Second
year. But the 4th season, they broke through, and it became his final season in Denver against Cam and company. Okay, so I'll give you that one down the line. Drew Brees was a great signing.
Yeah.
But that acquisition didn't pay off until the 4th year he was there, when they broke through and won their one and only Super Bowl.
Correct.
Okay, so I'll give you that. But Tom Brady took a franchise that had not been to the playoffs since 2007, had not won a playoff game since that 2002 season. The great Derek Brooks and company won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Okay, so the Super Bowl following 2002 season was the last playoff game the Buccaneers had won. And then they proceeded to become the worst franchise in all of sports in winning percentage for their lifetime, right?
Yep.
So he chose the Buccaneers, and in a pandemic year with no preseason games, they go win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Well, to me, hands down, that should be the acquisition of the year,
Right.
but it wasn't via trade.
Right.
And as you say, it was a no-brainer. He knocked on your door.
Right.
Now, they could have said no.
Right. And I guess and plus, Skip, a transaction, that means something of equal, something of value came back to the other side.
Yeah.
Well, did New England get anything? Do they lose get a compensatory pick this year or something? I don't know how that worked. But they're saying, you look at what Arizona gave up to get a top 2, top 3 receiver in all of football.
Yeah.
They gave up David Johnson and what?
Okay. So here's what continues to baffle me about this whole syndrome in Tampa that gets overlooked. So the Buccaneers, even though Tom Brady said, look what's there,
Right.
as you said, oh, they got that, and that.
Right.
Well, guess how many Pro Bowlers they had last regular season? They had one reserve in JPP. That's it, one reserve.
Right. And I think this year, Skip, they're gonna make up for it. So you watch Levante David, Devin White, Tristan Wirth. They'll have more, because a lot of times, Skip, it's the year after.
Maybe.
It's the year. Now you watch. They'll make
Okay,
up
well,
for it.
speaking of the year after, Kansas City last regular season had 7, including 6 starters. And I thought Frank Clark was a candidate to be a starter, but that you knew who they were: Mahomes and Kelsey and Tyreek,
Chris Jones, and Honey Badger.
And then Frank Clark is a reserve.
Right.
But you could have had 7 starters, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tampa had 1 reserve. So my Cowboys and the Panthers, the only 2 teams with 0 Pro Bowlers last year.
Well, you shouldn't have had any.
Okay, but the Giants had 2 Pro Bowlers.
They should've.
Bradbury and Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so they had 2 Pro Bowlers versus 1 for Tampa Bay.
Y'all had
Really?
none.
Okay, I got that, and we deserve to have none.
Yeah, exactly.
But we were injury ravaged. Yeah. So then we get down to Defensive Rookie of the Year, and I told you from midseason on, Antoine Winfield Jr. He's the heart and soul of that defense. He's the quarterback of the defense. He should have been Defensive Player of the Year. Chase Young won it off reputation that he brought from Ohio State.
Yeah, Skip, but it's hard for a DB. I think you got to go back to what? Maybe Charles Woodson, the DB to win Defensive Player, Rookie of the Year, Skip?
I don't
Normally,
care.
you know, it's linebackers and D linemen. It's going to be an Aaron Donald, or it's going to be a linebacker. It's going to be a lineman like that.
So Antoine Winfield finished 5th in that voting.
Right.
To Chase Young, who basically ran away with it.
Yeah, especially the guy makes the Pro Bowl. He's starting the Pro Bowl. It's going to be hard.
Okay, so this team got no recognition whatsoever, even from the MIT on Maneuver of the Year.
Right.
And
they good with analytics, Skip. You know, MIT, they good with analytics.
I'd say they are. And yet, I know how to count to 8.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what happened after the bye week, the late year bye week. Brady and company won 8 straight games, including games at Washington, at New Orleans, at Lambeau, and at home against Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
But see, Skip, this is where analytics get you in trouble.
Yep.
What did your eye tell you? What was the biggest move in the offseason? What did your eyes tell you? What does the resume say? What does the end result say?
Yep.
I got to get all that other stuff. And you want to do, like I said, you want to do something that Tampa didn't, New England didn't have to give up anything.
Yep.
And he did. I get all that. But see, the analytics, they want you to believe the numbers. Okay, what I just saw. I saw a guy where the 3 is a better shot. It ain't better than the guy that got an opportunity. A 3 is only better than a 2, Skip, if you make the 3.
Yep.
If I got a layup, Skip, I'm right there. Why would I pass it out? Because the 3 is more than 2. I get DeAndre Hopkins. He's great. But a quarterback of that ilk, a top 5 quarterback, no.
Okay.
No.
And finally, Tom Brady did not even make the Pro Bowl last year because my man Kyler Murray made it.
He should have.
Should he?
Yeah.
No, you're not all in on Kyler.
I mean, okay, the 2 are no-brainers. Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. Those are slam dunk no-brainers. Okay, why are we even discussing? Okay, the 3rd.
Pro Football Focus said Tom Brady graded out the second best quarterback in the National Football League in the regular season.
What did the fans, the players, and the coaches say? What did the fans, the players, and the coaches say?
So did Kyler win it off one throw to aforementioned DeAndre Hopkins?
What did the fan? Now, I would like to think that Tom Brady has a bigger fan base than Kyler Murray. I would think the players, given Tom Brady's body of work and resume, is more impressive than Kyler. The coaches that